Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this afternoon. There's Robert. Afternoon, Robert.
Afternoon, mate. I would say good afternoon, but I'll wait and see till after full time.
Hedge your bets, mate, hedge your bets. I believe you've got a team for us, mate, and then we'll get the phone lines opened.
Certainly, mate. No real surprises, to be honest with you, Ox. Today's team is Pandur, Sterling, Fernandez, McCanya, Penrice, Raskin, Dragojevic, Chukwani, Yokota, Gassama, Nadiri. Substitutes Kelly, McCrory, Devlin, Neil, Barron, McCausland, Curtis, Shankland and Miofsky. And Nico Raskin is your captain for today.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You're going to tell me that's a 4-3-3, aren't you?
Yes, but I hope it is.
Explain me how that works then with the players, mate, because I don't see it.
Again, mate, I just think on paper it looks a 4-3-3, and I hope it is.
Explain it.
Well, the 4 speaks for itself.
Yep.
The
3 speaks for itself. Yep.
The midfield 3 is where it maybe gets a bit complicated because Raskin likes to venture forward. Dragojevic has shown he's got a kind of good technique with a shot on him from distance, but I kind of expect that he may be the one that sits, and Chukwani and Raskin are kind of more forward in front of him, more of a kind of triangle 3 than a flat 3. So almost.
How's that 4-3-3 then, mate? It's a 4-1-4-1, isn't it?
But it depends how high up Dragojevic and Chukwani are, to be honest with you.
It's an all-bear. It's an all-bear.
Could be. It could be an all-bear. I kind of hope it's not any sort of diamond in the middle, mate, if I'm being honest as well, because we've seen Chukwani.
How would that work with the personnel, mate?
Well, that I don't know, if I'm being honest, mate. I'm trying to look at it and go, where can you put them?
I knew you were going to. Did you know these questions were coming?
I did, mate, and I'm still looking at it, and I did say before the show to Fox.
4-2-3-1, mate.
I really hope it isn't. We've seen Chukwani in that 10 position, mate.
Last week. It's in there, mate, but I'm really struggling to understand my rationale and my selection, mate. Yeah.
Mhm.
And we're crying out for creativity in there, and we've not seen Raskin for all his dynamics and his moments, isn't he a natural creator? Yeah, he does moments, mate. We know that. He even done it. I believe he done it in the World Cup. Yeah, but that's not his game. Chukwani, we know he's, what would you say, a sitter. Is that fair?
I'd say so, aye.
Aye, and then obviously young Dragojevic will just wait. We don't really know. He looks as if when he played at the right back position, he wants to get forward. So maybe he is somebody that can create. We don't know. We were told he was a 6 when he came in the door, but could play other positions. So we'll maybe see the day. I don't see how you can set that up any other way, mate, by a 4-2-3-1, mate. Possibly a 4-1-4-1, mate. But you're getting a lot of midfield away, mate. A lot of midfield away. I don't see how you can set that as a 3, mate. Because unless you're playing Chukwani on the left, yeah, which I don't think is his natural position in a 3, mate. I'm struggling.
It's a weird one, that midfield to try and get. But this is a problem we've got with the midfielders that are in the building. They're all very similar.
I'll tell you what we'll do, mate. We'll hear from the gaffer, and we might have a stick for a hinter.
Aye, let's hope so.
Get yourself a mute and let's hear from your manager, Derek McInnes.
Left back, obviously with Tour's injury, and young Ashton Scally is still a long way away from being fit. So to have a natural left back available to us is so important. But you know, James will bring quality, he'll bring enthusiasm, he'll bring real energy to that side. But equally, it's just that balance really, which every team needs, and having a left-footed defender is clearly important. So good work done by the club to get James here. James's enthusiasm to be part of this was a big part in that as well. I'm looking forward to picking up where I had him before at Hearts briefly, but working with him now in a Rangers shirt is going to be important.
Yeah, he's straight in from the off today. Just talk us through your team selection.
Yeah, so I think obviously for all the reasons just said about signing James, you know, grateful that his clearance came through last night. We never named the team yesterday as a consequence of that. We were just waiting, but if James was available, he was going to play, and really just to bring a bit of freshness through midfield. I think Nico's experience in a difficult situations is important, but freshness from Vanya and Chukwane, hopefully they can provide a lot of energy in there against St Mirren's, try to build the game in there as well. So we want to make sure that while we're not at our best attacking wise in recent games, we show the intent to get after teams, and I think that physicality in there will help us. And then we play Gas, Dye and Ryan Adiri at the top end of the pitch. I think Ryan's suited to playing in a 1 at times, but we need to get support, we need to get service into him. And the back 4 looks strong. Ivor back in the goals as well, obviously. So we hopefully it's a team that can go and win a cup tie. And ultimately, being a cup tie, we just need to try and win the game. We know we're short in certain areas. We're working extremely hard to try and bring that extra quality and those game changers at the top end of the pitch. But while we're working towards that, it's important we just pick up a win, get through the tie and see where the draw takes us.
Yeah, what type of test are you expecting from St Mirren today?
So I think they'll turn up here very confident because they've obviously off to a decent start. They came through the group stages, won the first couple of league games. Having seen them the last couple of games, they've shown good quality in both games. I thought they were very convincing winners at Falkirk. Last week the game against St Johnstone was touch and go, but they've managed to come out the other end of it with a win. And I think they've got a settled way of trying to play and try and build a game plan. So you know, I think they've got obvious threats. 1 or 2 of their players have started the season really well, and they do want to try and build the game, but they have that threat with pace in behind as well. So they've got a good kind of balance there of what they're trying to do, but it's important for us to make sure they don't enjoy coming here. Try and get after them, show our intent that it's a cup tie, it's important to us, and try and knock that confidence out of them by us playing well and doing our jobs well.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. I'm no any better off. People can send me all the pictures they want. Yeah, I don't see that team setting up like that, mate.
Nah, that's a wee graphic there, but when you look at it like that, Fox, Ox, it almost becomes a 4-5-1, which sounds a bit negative.
Did you say Fox there?
I said Fox, two
Oh,
similar
sorry.
names. Looks like a 4-5-1 when you put it like that kind of graphic, which doesn't sound very offensive either. So might be that 4-2-3-1, which we know a lot of supporters don't like that formation, and we don't have a guy there who's a 10.
That's my problem, mate. I mean, Dragojevic, we don't know how good he's going to be. He could fit in, he could be really good in that role, yeah?
Mhm.
And ideally, but as we sit this day before the game, we don't know. I've not seen enough of him to see what he is. And when he came in the club, we never get that picture that he was going to be this creative player. You know, and you picked up on something else even about the squad today, didn't you?
Aye, again, it's a weird setup because you're trying to find a solution somehow with the midfielders we've got, but you look at even the bench, mate, there's no Asgard. I know he's not been consistent again this season, but you look at creativity from midfield, the 3 players that are starting, based on what we know and what we've seen, obviously more than others, they've not got it. They've not got that spark, they've not got that final ball. The passing can be a bit off. Obviously, Dragojevic we're still to really judge, as you say, but even the bench, your Neil, your Barron, they're all very similar, mate. It's the wide guys are going to be the ones that need to provide the service to Nadiri, who I've kind of got to disagree with McInnes. I don't think he's a lone striker, mate. I think he needs somebody up beside him.
Well. Anyway, people might have just joined us, mate, so they'll hear this talking, so you might want to give us the team in a subs, bro.
Certainly. Pandur, Sterling, Fernandez, Mecania, Penrice, Raskin, Dragojevic, Chukwani, Yokota, Gassama, Nadiri. Substitutes: Kelly, McCrory, Devlin, Neil, Barron, McCausland, Curtis, Shankland, and Miofsky.
And the Simon starting 11 is Chapman, Richardson, Donnelly, Coggage, John, that's Declan John, Carr, Ramaz, and Phillips, Keeby, Mockery, and Sewell. There's a few of the players we know. We know that Kieran Phillips will kick everything above the grass. We know that how Alex Gogic plays. By the way, I think that's a guy we did miss the boat maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, mate. Yeah, he came in and done us a job. As a squad player, might not be a star, but you never know how people's careers blossom. But and obviously Declan John we watched, but look, mate, they're like a lot of the teams in our league. Players come and go every season. They have to try and build squads. We have got pretty much a new group together because we've got another guy making his debut today, young Penrice, yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah. And also, I'm going to say Dragojevic is making his debut in his natural position, playing in midfield. He obviously played the last game at right back, but he didn't play in his natural position. So, young Penrice, we knew we were short on the left-hand side of the defence. Makes sense to me, mate. The signing, yeah.
Oh, I agree. It makes sense. Obviously, it was one that was spoken about before the window even opened, and there was still that kind of murmuring around throughout the most of the summer. So to get it done this late, I suppose, is a good thing. We've got it done first and foremost, Ox, because we are short, very short, particularly now with Roman's injured. But I just wonder how long it's actually took. If it could have been done sooner to have him in the building, but not being negative about it. He's in the building. He's making his debut, and we need him. We need a guy to come in the door and ready to play, and it looks like he is. So we'll see what he offers in their team. We've seen him at Livingston. We've seen him at Hearts. Let's see what he can add to the squad here, defensively and going forward.
Watched his interview yesterday, mate, and obviously he interviewed very well and seemed a level-headed young man and was desperate to play for our club, mate. And I know that means nothing, but it always helps my eyes.
It's a helpful thing to have when they've got a bit of experience and a background connection to Rangers as well. But as you say, it's all about what they do here and now on the pitch, and it could be any player as long as they give us the performance that we as supporters expect and demand, and they do it to their full potential, and they can help the team win. Then that's the main thing.
Aye. Yeah, away with murder, even if you're a bad game, if we win, mate. Yeah, and if we don't get results, everything's under a micro. I wish him all the best. Young man today, young Penrith. Hope it works out for him, mate. And obviously it's a loan to buy, and we'll see where it takes us, mate. Look, when you do look at that, we'll get McCrory, Devlin, Neil, new players into the club. Shankland, and that's 4 players on the bench into the club. So the squad is changing, mate, dramatically. But this is a big, big game already, mate. You know, on the back end of form we've had. And I try not to mention it, mate, but if we don't get a result today, it ain't going to be, there's not going to be a lot of happy campers, myself included.
No, there certainly won't be. We heard the reaction on Thursday night at full time, and if it doesn't go our way today, then that's only going to increase that noise level up. That's if there's that many supporters remaining at the end of the game, mate, if it does go really bad, because you will start to see people walk out if it's not going our way in about the usual 75, 80 minutes. But it's got to change somewhere, or something's got to click, and it may be today, but you can't help also think that had this been a good start to the season, a cup game, you're normally expecting more changes. I know we're short in personnel in some places, but that's a strong side that we're playing today, personnel-wise on that pitch, who should be more than capable enough to go and beat a St Mirren. There's a lot of supporters out there a bit sceptical and worried going into this game, not feeling as confident as they should, and that's solely down to the way we have started the season, and it's down to these players to go and change it. McInnes has got to get it tactically right. The subs have got to be right. If we're in the game, we dominate, we control it. Don't change it if it's going well. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So massive game, mate, but it's down to us to go and solve these problems that we've started with.
What's your view? There's been changes, a lot of changes in the squad. How many players do you think we've used already, mate?
Probably is it say what players haven't really had a chance or played much. The back lines played a lot of games, obviously, because that's the shortest area.
You know,
Midfield.
McCrory, Big Ben, and Romans have played. So there's 7 defenders, 1 goalie, there's 8. Midfield, how many's played? Raskin, Chukwani, Neil,
Everyone bar
Ashford,
Barron.
everybody bar Barron. Cameron come on at all? I don't think he has, is he?
No.
No.
Maybe in pre-season in Spain, but I don't think
Aye.
competitive games now.
But in the competitive games, you know, we've used a lot of players already, mate. The 4 strikers, the wide men, the 2 wide men, Curtis. You know, so we have already used a lot of players. So, and then we've not got a game. We've got a game on Thursday, then we've not got a game for a week. So the spell now is quite laid out, and then we'll get a game the following away to Aberdeen quite quickly. So we'll get the games are coming, but we've got that break in the weekend, which I've got my problems with when they don't think of supporters, when they get the fixtures out, when they cancel games who have paid for flights and organised buses and made deposits for hotels. But that's just me, mate. But anyway, that's another story for another night. So Mr. Fox has agreed with you, so that he's saying that picture that we'll put in, that he thinks that Raskin will be playing the left-hand side of midfield. I just don't see it, mate. I don't see where you would play if that was the case, mate, and this goes wrong today, the intensity of the manager would grow. You've took your best midfielder, central midfielder, and played them on the left. I wouldn't understand it, mate.
Again, it's trying to find a solution in midfield that works to get these guys in. We brought in Dragojevic to be a starter. Let's be honest. We've paid a good bit of money for him. He's came with this sort of reputation that he's going to be a guy that improves the midfield. Chukwani had the same sort of idea back in January. There was talk about Raskin going, may still go. So I said it in a previous show. If you're going to have life without Raskin, then you've got to see how these players play when he's not on the pitch. But at this moment in time, you've got to play him simply because the guys that have came in don't have that kind of same level of quality. And again, it's similar personnel. They've all got the same abilities. They've all got the same sort of defensive responsibilities and duties. It's just that creativity that we don't have in that midfield, particularly when you take Asgard out, who I'm not saying is the biggest creator in the world, but when you look at in the midfield, he has something different. So when he's not there, how else do you shape up this side? Because if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, you're asking a central midfielder or defensive midfielder to go in an area they're not used to or similar before they've came here to play in. So I don't know, mate. I think we're just going to have to wait and see until we kick off how it really does look.
You know, if you take that, they've got Dragojevic just ahead of Chukwani and Raskin, so they're playing as a 2 with him in front of him. So that becomes a 4-2-3-1 then, mate. Yeah.
I think it depends on how high up the wingers are. If they're kind of tucked in or up closer to midfield than they are Nadiri, it almost becomes a 4-2-3-1. But I think if they're high and wide, almost in line with Nadiri, that could be a 4-3-3 in my eyes. But they've got a job to do defensively. So we've seen Yokota the other night. He was spent, he was burst, but with no subs left. So I don't think he'll last the full game today. I think he'll come off at some point. But you want to get these guys into attacking positions as much as possible. Yes, they've got a duty defensively to do, but they've got to have the assets to go forward. And we've seen it with Gassama and glimpses. And Yokota has looked, at times, he's got a bit of something about him. He's got a bit of creativity. He's got a bit of trickery in him. Can he get the end products? Can he get the assists up? Can he get somebody in the box to score goals? The way we set up today, though, mate, with one person up front, we spoke about bodies in the box. Who's going to burst from midfield to get in that box to score goals or cause problems? That's another problem.
I did notice when he was playing it right back, Dragojevic was trying to get forward, mate, and try to make things happen and try to run forward forward to the wide man. So maybe he's got that instinct to make the runs, but only time will tell, mate. We're only basing this on what we know, that he was brought in to be the number they mentioned was 6, which means you're more a defensive midfielder. Chukwani, where would you say he plays?
6.
In Raskin's favourite position?
Well, his favourite position is wherever he wants to go, but technically I would say a 6.
That's my point. But we'll see how we line up, mate, and it'll be interesting. What Sterling and Penrice can do, and your point's valid, mate. If Gassama comes in right inside and Penrice goes outside him and puts a ball in the box, and they've got 3 defenders against Nadiri, well, it's difficult for the lad, and we know we've never really seen him play as a lone striker. Most of the times he's played with Chukwani and Chermiti, you know.
Mhm. Right, and when he has done that, he's been the one that's kind of filling in that deep position in that 10 almost to drop in. And he's not, as much as he runs about and he works hard off the ball, as you say, and he's a big unit, yeah, boy, but we know what Gogic is like defensively. He'll clear everything and head everything. So I think you need bodies in and around that penalty area as much as possible. If Gassama's putting the ball in, your quota has to be in at back post or penalty spot, and vice versa from the other side. And we know Raskin likes to get forward. Dragojevic could be the guy that gets forward, but you're just basing it on possibilities at the minute until you actually see how it's played and how the system sets up.
It's going to be interesting, mate, to see. You know, it's difficult. Like we talked about this on Wednesday night, me and you, and we talked about the thing, what we're going to set up. It looks as if he wants to play a back 4, so you need 2 fullbacks, 2 centre halves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you then want to play a 3 in a midfield, hopefully, you know, and do you have 2 sitters to try and win the midfield, or do you try and, as you say, work them as a 3? My preferred would be a 4-3-3, mate, but to have that, everybody has to work in a unit. And we've not seen that for your midfield. You need to go back to maybe the team with the run to Seville, and Gerrard's team with a 3 worked well, and Giovanni played the 4-2-3-1 a lot, didn't he? You know, that was one of his favourite setups. So that I'm just struggling to see how we win the midfield consistently if we're only playing 2 in there, mate. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's again, formations look better when you've got personnel to create that formation. When you don't have the personnel and you're trying to kind of have a makeshift midfield or asking people to do different duties or jobs that they're not maybe used to, that's when it doesn't break. That's when it breaks down. It doesn't work all the time because it's not as you say, they're not all offering something different. You know, when it's working collectively, as soon as one breaks down in midfield as a free, the whole chain link is gone. So we need to be, if it is a free, there's got to be a lot of communication, a lot of covering the right spaces, knowing when to press, when to sit off, and when to play the right pass as well, releasing it, and knowing who to pass it to going forward. Another thing is these midfielders, Raskin and Chukwani, I'll talk about here mainly, some of their distribution at times is poor. So again, there's nothing in that midfield that can give you a bit of confidence that we can play the right pass or we can drive forward with the ball. But I think it comes down to personnel. Until McInnes has got his full personnel that he wants in this door when this window shuts, then he'll be able to get a settled 11 and a settled formation, barring obviously any injuries that may occur. But over the basis, and majority of times where possible, a set 11 and a set formation. Because right now we've had 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 3-5-2. If all personnel use maybe bar 4 or 5 players in the squad, there's a lot of change and nothing's settled yet. The only thing that's settled is the back 4 just now because that's always there. Although, I'm going to be honest, Ox, I didn't expect Sterling to start because he played 90 minutes on Thursday, and we know the game-by-game basis that he's restricted on. So maybe because we've got that break coming up, as you say, he's in the day because it became a massive game.
Aye. Listen, the formations we were maybe talking before a game, and you maybe see your different points of view. You maybe not try and pick holes in them if you're winning, mate. This is a problem, mate, because we're not getting results, and you're scratching your head, and there'll be people going to the game today and saying, "Where's Shanklin? We brought him in to score goals, and we're not playing him." That's what people will be saying, And I thought Shanklin was arguably my best player on Thursday night, but that was just the way I seen it. But people will be saying that walking up to the game because they'll be thinking, "Well, we signed him to score goals, and we're not playing him."
Well, you touch on the word of if you're picking players on form, then it's hard to pick an 11.
Me and you,
to
we
be
get a
honest.
game.
It's the thing with Shankland is his general play has been poor, if I'm honest. The only thing I've seen him do kind of well with the ball was the goal for Asgard at Dundee United, where he used his strength and forced the defender into a mistake that led to the goal. But I don't think he looks fit. I know he's always been this kind of stocky build and he can get about at times. He's not got the pace to run in behind. He's coming deep for the ball. I don't have plenty of Shankland's strength. He is a penalty box striker. And when he's in the box, he's going to get marked, outnumbered. Same in the day to day. And we've not yet seen the final quality ball from the wide players. As I said earlier, Yokota showed glimpses that he can cause problems. But can he get the assists up? Can he get in behind? Put the ball on a plate to Shankland penalty spot area? That's where he needs to be. Everything that we have seen so far has all been done in front of defences. And I don't think that's Shankland's game.
One of the things that disappointed me on Thursday night when we changed our shape at half time, mate. Yokota was arguably my best player in the first half, and the guy that was making things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his side when he I think it was him that put the cross in for the penalty kick. But after that, mate, we never got him isolated with a fullback again because he was getting the ball that deep. Yeah, so there's a lot of things not making sense to me, mate. And I'm just observing or saying what I'm seeing. So we had the boy was doing well. He was getting by the fullback. He was spinning, tying his tricks, and he got by him a couple of times, put the ball into dangerous areas. He's done his job. Then all of a sudden, we changed my formation, and I don't think he, in the whole of the second half, he got the ball once at the edge of the box, mate. Not once. And
No,
that's
I'm
where
struggling
that boy
myself.
wants to get it, mate.
I'm struggling to think of that myself, mate. And as you say, and that's a consistent, not just with Yokota, I mean, here in general, that once we've scored or once we've been on the front foot, we've then inexplicably stopped playing. And McInnes has called it out and said it a few times after the games. Said that against Hibs, said it against Dundee United. It seems to be a trend that we as supporters have seen even last season. And you thought going into this season, clean slate, fresh start, hoping that you would leave all the kind of things that were causing issues and problems last season was left at the door. But there's still elements that are creeping into play into some individual performances. And there's just some things that, as you say, just aren't clicking yet. Now, whether that is a thing that clicks over time or whether it becomes the personnel and quality improves and it gets better, time will tell. But the position we're in, mate, there's no time. Time's now.
Who's taking the set pieces for you today?
Well, I reckon you'll see corners. I reckon you'll see Gassama use his right foot for an in-swinger. As much as he's poor at it, looking at
Are
that.
you kidding me on, mate?
That from that lineup box, that's the only person that I can see is going to take a corner in-swinger. And I'll put Penrice on the right-hand side for an in-swinger. Left-footed player on top of the keeper.
Gassama couldn't get it in. You see them trying to get it in.
I know, but who else is going to hit one from there? For a corner?
Right, we know that Penrice can take a deep ball, so he might take the two of them, mate, in swingers and out swingers.
I don't like out swingers.
No, not they are, but I always prefer an in swinging corner personally. If you get it right, I think you've got a lot more chance of a goal. But if you get it wrong, sometimes it can still cause chaos. But Gassama, don't see it, mate. I don't think he can strike a deep ball, mate. Yeah.
Maybe Yakota takes one, but when you look at the midfield, Raskin we know is good enough in the air, in the box, round about that front post area. Chukwuani's got the strength and the height.
Maybe young
Dragojevic on the edge.
Dragojevic, you never know, mate.
Well, he's got the shot on him, Ox. I would like to see him just hang about outside the edge of the box. If it breaks, unleash a shot. We've seen that he can hit it with power, and he wasn't far away against Hibs. 2 decent efforts, good technique. I'd
They
have
were
him on the edge.
No bad efforts.
Free kick wise, though, Ox. Maybe Dragojevic, but free kicks, I don't really know, to be honest with you. Dragojevic, maybe, just for that power.
Well, obviously we've got a new set piece, man, and you know what I mean? So we'll be looking for things really to start improving now.
Well, that's the thing. I think people have picked up on it when they phoned in. They've noticed that we're still not having them doing the posts, which I know is a pet hate of yours and one of mine as well. And then we seem to be doing a sort of hybrid.
I tell you my biggest pet hate is, mate.
Not leaving somebody up the park.
Not leaving somebody up the park, not leaving somebody at the edge of the box, mate. Yeah. It just means you're constantly defending. If somebody does get a head in it, it's gone 25 yards away from goal, and then the other team will go to the ball. You might not lose a goal for the corner, but you'll still be defending after it. You know, I don't understand it. Why would you take Gasman back? Why would you not just leave him at the halfway line? Yeah, I understand why you're taking the Dairy back. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For his height.
Yeah.
If you're to do what you said there, leave one on the edge and leave one up at halfway, I'd look at the 2 wide players, Gassama and Yakota. That's the guys with pace that can break and get you up the park. So whatever way you set that, where it's Gassama at the edge, Yakota up at halfway, it gives the defence something to think about and less bodies up the park.
Yes. Anyway, we'll be joined by Cal. Afternoon, Cal.
Afternoon, Carol. I'm nominating you for taking all the free kicks and corners, Ox.
Well, you couldn't go 4-1 with that, mate.
I don't think I would. I think I could take them better. See if it was a wee bit nearer, like at Leeds or Newcastle. I could maybe beat the first man.
Like a wand it was, mate. Like a wand. Talking about my fit here, by the way.
What?
I'm talking about my fit.
Hey, I don't want any sexual talk on this programme. It's too early.
Right. What's your thinking?
I don't know, Ox. I am completely puzzled. I've been hearing now since he came in that players will run through brick walls. I've not seen a plaster on one apart from the ones that's injured. Nobody's run through brick walls for a boy. And the substitutions, God, it's all over the place. I mean, that one was disgusting. And Thursday night, that wee Japanese boy was absolutely toasted by half time. And we left them on the whole game.
Robert?
The guy was done, you know.
Robert?
Afternoon, Carl.
Afternoon, Robert.
It's a good observation to point out, Carl, because in the 4 competitive games we've had, McInnes has made a substitute at every time in every game, and it's all been down to a tactical substitution. Now, the one on Thursday night, when I came on after the show, after the game, I said that I felt that completely changed the game. Although 3-5-2 we looked comfortable in, Asgard wasn't involved, but he was still in areas that posed a threat as such, that he was somebody to mark. As soon as we'd done that, the game changed. And you're right to point out that substitutions have been questionable. Yakota was spent. You can see him, he was knackered. He then has to play in a midfield. We go back to that 3-5-2 just so we can put him in the middle of the park so he doesn't need to run, and we've got McCrory at right wing back. But that all came from the substitutes that he'd made prior to that. So you've got to be smart in your game, your management, how you manage players in minutes, and your substitute bench is there. If you don't do that sub at half time, there's one sub remaining, and you've got your quarter off and fresh legs on up the park.
Aye. Right, can I come back in Asgard, Robert? I don't see how you see this. Because all I seen him on Thursday day, and he was going out to the left wing and congesting it between Romans and Nakoma, and the ball was just pinged about 3 feet passes and losing it. I don't see where he was any use at all. If you want to play him, you've got to play him in the middle of the park and tell him to stay there.
He was coming out to the left, mate. You're spot on, mate. And he was killing the space for Gassama and Romans going outside, mate, because sometimes he was outside Gassama and sometimes he was in when Gassama was trying to go. He didn't have a good half, you know. And you're spot on, Carl, in my opinion. If you're going to play him, he's got to be in the middle trying to make things happen. I don't even know if he's a real midfield player getting up and down the park, mate. I don't even know if that's his game.
I think he's quite good at tricks.
Aye,
but
there's a
but
lot
tricks
of
doesn't win you games.
there's a lot of positives with Asgard. His ability, he can score goals, but there's a lot of negatives as well. Robert?
There is, and the biggest one of those negatives is consistency. When he has a good game, you want him to go in the following week and perform at the same level, and he doesn't, and that's mere frustration because, as you say, a lot of positives in his play, his ability, his skill, the creativity that he's got, but doing it consistently is his biggest downfall. And we touched on it, his best position, or his only position that he could play, is in that 10. But when you do that, it does give him that free role, and that's when he does maybe drift to the sides, particularly in Thursday at the left, and becomes in areas that causes congestion more than being effective, rather than holding a position, just being open for a pass. But that's the issue you give when you allow players to be a free role, because they can just roam. You've got to roam, but also stick to some sort of restriction somewhere.
Aye, you're right. You're right, Robert. I mean, but I'm hoping for a victory today. But I've got money on it again. You know, I'll never be a millionaire. I'm betting Rangers to win.
Aye, I know the feeling, mate. I know the feeling.
I can't bet against them. Come on, Ox.
No, never, mate. Never. No, even 3-0 down at half time, mate. Down to 10 men.
Oh, aye.
Get the early goal.
But back in it. I know the feeling. Right, lads, I'll let you go. Have a wonderful game. I might come on after if I'm still, what you call that other thing that people are sober. That's what it's called, sober. Right, okay, bye.
Just go. It's always positive.
Oh, he's a character. Listen, I wish young Penrice all the best today, mate. I hope it goes well for him and his family, mate. It's a big day, and obviously he was at the academy at our club, and he came across that it was us he wanted to play for, so I hope it goes well for him, and this is the start of his career. Now that he's in the team, mate, I hope that two Romans can get back in, mate, because this guy's so good that we've cracked it, you know.
That's what you want. You want competition for places, and if a guy can come in the door and show that he's good enough to hold the jersey for a player that's injured, then it's down to the player that's injured to try and get back into the squad. You want that. You want a battle between two people in one position. There's no point having a guy in, week out, regardless of performances, playing, and a guy on the bench that could do a job, but just isn't trusted enough or isn't the same level. So if you've got two players battling it out, I'm happy with that. And you never know. There might be times where they're both on the park. We spoke about it years ago in different seasons when you had the right hand side. Could you have somebody here and somebody there? Penrice, left back, we know he's attacking. Romans, we've seen last season. I did say this season they looked a bit different, looked a bit of a shell from last season. And if he's got this injury, you couldn't help think he's had a knock going into it. Again, questions past recruitment, but I'm looking forward to seeing Penrice, mate. As long as he does the job, does the basics defensively, and if he can pose a threat going forward, brilliant.
I think this is Roman's third spell out, mate.
You would be right in saying that, mate. He came in injured, and then they had that, ironically, the groin strain towards the tail end of last season at the split, and then the groin strain now. So it's not great, but these are muscle injuries that can happen. You get them when you're not expecting them as well, regardless how much you train or whatever. You can do all the training in the world, all the warm up before a game. You do one run, and that's it done.
It's mental, mate. It's third time out, mate. What is that? 8 months? 9 months?
Aye, January till now.
It's a worry, mate. It's a worry, and I've championed him at times on here. I thought he came in and looked a right good player. He hasn't hit the heights since, mate, if I'm honest, you know. I do think there's a footballer there. But if Penrice comes in and makes the jersey his own, why not? He's getting it on for him, mate.
That's it. As I said, if you show you're good enough to hold the jersey, then there's no complaints and no issues. You pick your best players possible to go and win the game. If you've got 11 players that are doing better than the guys that they've replaced, then that's the team you go with. And that's when it becomes a settled 11 where possible. But if you've got the level of quality and somebody pushing to get that jersey, then you don't notice that drop off. Whereas in some positions in the squad, you can see there's a difference.
Right. Would that have been the team you'd have picked today?
Probably close to it, mate, if I'm being honest.
Right.
I probably wouldn't have brought Chukwani in, if I'm being honest. Not exactly sure if I'd have played Neil or Devlin, but again, it's all like for like. I probably would have went with the 4-3-3 because I think we're trying to force the 4-4-2. As much as I like to see two strikers on the park, because I think it increases your chances of getting goals if the service is there. But I think I'd have went with 4-3-3. I just don't know who I'd have brought in place of Chukwani. Wide players, arguably probably the right choice to make. I thought Gassam had one of his better games in the first half on Thursday. Nadiri, Shankland, none of them is really performing. Miofsky, as much as I said I'd have played him last week. As you said, match fitness, is he ready to start? Probably not. So I'd say I probably picked 9 out of 11 there, mate.
Okay, that's fair enough, isn't it? That's
About
fair enough. How do you see it panning out today? Obviously, St Mirren have had a good start to the season domestically, mate. You know, they've got through the group stages of the League Cup. They've got 6 points in the bag already.
I think they'll fancy it, Ox. Let's be honest. I don't think any team at this moment in time, or even from last season, fears coming to Ibrox anymore. I think they can see there's vulnerabilities within the squad. They can get at us. They can frustrate us. They can use the crowd to their advantage. So I think they'll fancy their chances. We need to just be as strong as we can be. When it is going tough, if it's not going right, stick with it or change it to something that's going to work. But that comes from the tactics and the coaching. I think it'll be nervy.
Goals, mate. Need to score goals, mate. This is my 4th game at Ibrox. 2 friendlies, two home games, mate. An own goal and 3 penalties, mate.
Aye, and the worry for me, Ox, is I don't think we're going to see a high-scoring game. My score prediction's 1-0 Rangers. A win is more important than goals. I'd love to see the goals.
Here's a rational thing for you, and you maybe know what I'm going to say here. Win both halves, mate.
Yes.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But I didn't realise that. I understand the rationale now of playing Nadiri. With his height, mate, you can jump up and just smash it down your arm and put it down to any player you want. And if he puts it in the net, it's a goal, mate.
So you're saying we should play basketball and football at the same time?
Just after your arm, lay it off for somebody nice. Yeah?
Aye.
Yeah. That's the way to do it, isn't it?
Aye, I've just had a message through from one of our listeners, Stephen, who's pointed out that Asgar's not in the squad because he was sent off last season in the semi-final.
Oh, right. In the final?
Semi-final.
Semi-final. Oh, I forgot about that. Well done, Stephen. That seems a lifetime ago. Yeah, that karate kick.
Yes, that's the very one.
That didn't help his Rangers career, did it?
No, it didn't.
By the way, what a performance that was, that second half, wasn't it? What a performance.
Extra time. But I think it'll be nervy, Ox, and as much as I'd love to see goals to get some goals in the team and some confidence, I think it's 1-0 Rangers. I think a win's more important than the goals today, mate.
I get that, mate. I understand that. Just win both halves, mate, and that'll give you double the goals that you want, yeah?
Aye, that'd be nice. It'd be extra bonus. A clean sheet would be important as well for Pandur and that back line. Confidence.
Never really get a chance to talk about that, mate, but because I think some of how we were going to line up was the debate was in the midfield, mate, yeah?
Aye.
All right. Listen, mate, thanks for joining us. Thanks to Cal for joining us. Thanks to All School Blue and Fox for doing the technicals. We'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle, and it could go to extra time. Does it go to extra time or straight to penalties? They change the rules that often. They changed the rules in football yesterday, didn't they?
They do, but this is played to a finish, mate.
Extra time and penalties, but I thought some of the ties had done away with extra time. Is that only in the group? Is that only in the group
I think that's
stages?
the group stages, I'm sure it is, mate. Aye, it's straight to
Aye.
pens after
But
that.
as I said, mate, they might have changed the rules this morning because they changed the rules of football yesterday.
Ah, true. Maybe changing them right now as you speak.
Right, all right, because I don't know them anywhere. Get your enjoy the game. We'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle. Take it away, old school boy.